Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? I hope you will all be fine. In the last lecture, we did the kinds of sentences according to their structure, and we discussed about the simple, compound, complex sentences, and the last kind was compound complex sentences. And I told you that another name for compound complex sentence is multiple sentence or mixed sentence. So in the case of simple sentence, let's revise the idea another time. So it will be easy for you people just to do the worksheet which I have selected from your past papers. So what is a simple sentence? A simple sentence does have a single clause. It means that it is a simple sentence. In the case of compound sentence, it does have all the independent clauses joined with the help of coordinating conjunctions, which are fanboys. In the case of complex sentences, in the case of complex sentence, only one independent clause is there, and rest of all the clauses, they are subordinate or dependent clauses joined with the help of subordinating conjunction. And the last is compound complex sentences. In the case of compound complex sentences, we have two independent clauses, and the rest of the clauses, they are subordinate clauses. So I think the idea is quite properly revised now. So keeping all these ideas in view, we have to start with the worksheet now. I waited till the train arrived. It is a complex sentence. I waited is an independent clause. Till the train arrived is a subordinate clause. So it will be a complex sentence. Bread and milk is wholesome food. This sentence contains only one single clause, so it is a simple sentence. You will get the prize if you deserve it. You will get the prize is independent clause. If you deserve it is subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. When you are called is a subordinate clause. You must come in at. It is an independent clause, so it will be a complex sentence. Do not go before I come. Do not go is independent clause. Before I come is subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. I cannot give you any money, for I have no or I have none. It means that I cannot give you any money is an independent clause. For I have none is an other independent clause. So it is a compound sentence. Since you say no is a subordinate clause, I must believe it is an independent clause. So it will be a complex sentence. He fled lest he should be killed. He fled is an independent clause. Lest he should be killed, subordinate clause. So it will be a complex sentence. I shall be vexed, independent clause. If you do that, subordinate clause. So it is a it is a complex sentence. We got into the port, independent clause, before the storm came on, subordinate clause. So it will be a complex sentence. And we have already decided that a subordinate clause always begins with a subordinating conjunction like before, if, these are all the subordinating conjunctions. He was sorry, independent clause, after he had done it, subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. I did not come, independent clause, because you did not call me, subordinate clause, beginning with subordinating conjunction, which is because, so it is complex sentence. He is richer than I am. It is a single clause, so it will be a simple sentence. My grandfather died, independent clause, before I was born, subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. I will stay, independent clause, until you return, subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. Catch me, independent clause, if you can, subordinate clause, complex sentence. Tom runs, independent clause. Tom runs faster than Harry. So the whole of the sentence contains only one single clause. So it will be a simple sentence. Is that story true or false? Again, it is a single clause, so it will be a simple sentence. You will be late, independent clause, unless you hurry, subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. He asked, independent clause, whether he might have a holiday, subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. Give me to drink, independent clause, else I shall die of thirst, subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. If I feel any doubt, subordinate clause, I ask, independent clause, so it will be a complex sentence. He deserved to succeed, independent clause, for he worked hard, another independent clause, because for is a coordinating conjunction, and we have already discussed that whenever we have two independent clauses in a sentence, they are always joined together with the help of a coordinating conjunctions, which are fanboys. He will be sure to come, independent clause, if you invite him, subordinate clause, so it will be a complex sentence. We can travel by land or water. It is a simple sentence as it contains only one single clause. The earth is larger than the moon. Again, it is a simple sentence. Either you are mistaken or I am. It is a complex sentence because the first clause is subordinate clause and or I am is an independent clause. I shall go, independent clause, whether you come or not. So again, it will be a complex sentence. Unless you tell me the truth, subordinate clause, I shall punish you, independent clause. It is a complex sentence. I hear, independent clause, that your brother is in London, subordinate clause, because that is a subordinating conjunction. So it will be a complex sentence. Blessed are the merciful, independent clause, for they shall obtain mercy, another independent clause. So two independent clauses are there. So it is a compound sentence. The cat ran away, independent clause, but nobody was worried, another independent clause, because he was trained to find his home. It is a subordinate clause. So, students, it means that this sentence contains two independent clauses and one subordinate clause. So, it will be a compound complex sentence because a compound complex sentence contains two independent clauses and rest of the clause will be subordinate clause. Since she was vegetarian, subordinate clause, she refused to eat the turkey, independent clause, but she was more than happy to eat the potatoes, again independent clause. So it will be a compound complex sentence. Kate doesn't like cartoons, independent clause, because they are loud, subordinate clause. So she doesn't watch them, independent clause. So the best way to identify the compound complex sentences that you must have a lead pencil in your hand and to underline all the clauses, and then you name the clauses, how many are dependent and how many are subordinate clauses. In this way, you can easily identify whether they are compound complex sentences or not. The dog started barking, independent clause, so the cat ran away, independent clause, and I couldn't keep up, so I stopped. So in all these, the whole of the sentence, all the clauses they are independent clauses, so they are called compound sentence. Even though she was tired, subordinate clause, Abby knew she had to finish the race, independent clause, and she ran to meet her team, and other independent clause. So two independent clauses are there, one subordinate clause is there, so it is a compound complex sentence. Usually I take a walk every day. It is a independent clause while the sun sets, subordinate clause, but it was raining today, another independent clause. So again the sentence is compound complex. So I think your idea of all the kinds of sentences according to their structure would be quite much clear by now. So it is all a matter of practice. Students, keep on practicing the sentence. So when you will practice them again and again, your idea is going to be much more clear. I hope today's worksheet was much more useful. Next time with a new lecture, we will join again. Okay, students, Allah Hafiz.